Welcome to our daily COVID-19 update, Monday through Friday. I'm trying to see this video. How you doing, Moody Petra? Leslie Younger Mitchell, how you doing? Eileen Shaw, how's everybody? Malika Harris, how you doing? Dorothy Croner, praise the Lord, it's right. Ike Wang, how you doing? Kettles TJ, greetings. Nicole Wheeler, Janice Rogers, Alexis Trusty, what are you doing up here? Lawrence Jeter, good evening. Yvette Strickland, how are you? Luz Davila, good afternoon. Sharon Martins, good afternoon to you too. Keisha Sessoms, Karima Norman, Ardelia McElroy, hold it down over there. Adrian Bula, how are you? Karima Norman, Sherman Peterkin, Salima Imani Bey, I love that name. Cinnamon Buns, how about that? Good evening. Felicia Austin Singleton, wow. Tanya Tucker, how are you? Josephine Richardson, good afternoon. Sheila Green, Rafia Muhammad Webb. We got some special guests for y'all today. It's gonna be an awesome show. Nafisa Kareem. Y'all know who that is. That's the Clark sisters. You don't know the Clark sisters, you're in trouble. Liz Panella, happy Friday. How's everybody? Lisa Leslie Peters. Chioma Kweuze, good evening. I sure am wearing the African cloth. Alice George, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Pamela Gardner, Deborah Smith Gregory, good afternoon. Hold it down in Clinton Hill. Aisha Edwards, how are you? Miss Mika Foreman, Pamela Graves, Niara Council, my neighbor down the street, how you doing? Hold it down. Sharonda McLean, how are you? Gail McClooney, Aaliyah Lily Berry. Come through, come through.
Come through.
I appreciate y'all for being up here. Alana Quiles, buenas tardes. Awilda Marrero, how are you? Kiana Pearson, Karima Terry, Yoko Arriaga Diaz. I said that one right. Ana Jacinto Santos, buenos tardes. Denise Peoples, Corinne Tarver, how are you? Denaya Cruz. Yes, we will let you know. Stephanie Jones, Tanisha Gibbs, Naja Bateman, good to see you up here again. Shakima Jenkins, how are you? Hold it down for those seniors over there, please. Leslie Younger Mitchell, I love this song too. Clark sisters are dynamite. Ibn Suleiman, peace and blessings, brother. Peace and blessings. Gwen Smith Stokes, good evening. I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in with us. We have a great evening for y'all. We're gonna get to the numbers. I'm gonna introduce my guest today. I got full house. Our daily update today, we joined by a special guest, Shakira McKnight from the Mayor's Office of Youth and College Affairs, Dorian Murray Thomas, she's a school board member and youth activist. Hassani Council is the newly elected addition to the school board, another young guy up there, and Josiah Paul, mentor and youth activist, my little guy, man. He got it. He got it. We brought them all on here to talk to y'all from a youth perspective about how they see what's happening out here with COVID and how to stay healthy and how to stay safe. We in Newark today have 6,946 positive cases, 6,946 positive cases. Yesterday we had 6,903. That's an increase of 43. We have 553 deaths. 549 yesterday was an increase of 4. Our numbers are steady, continually to be low in comparison. You know, when we first started this, we had anywhere between a 68 to 71% infection rate. That means if you got tested, you had a 68% or 71% chance of being positive, right? In the beginning. Now we're at about 18%. So we have dropped dramatically because of all of the work that you guys are out there doing, and we need you to continue to do. You know, the governor today, I know he said something about 25 people, but that don't pertain to us, y'all. I think that he's talking about events that folks are having, and then they congregate outside to have these events. He's not talking about y'all on Elizabeth and Renner. He's not talking about you over there on Bergen and Shear. He don't mean 25 of y'all can stand on the corner. That's not what the governor means. He does not mean 25 of you can stand on the corner in front of Bieber's on Broad and Market. That's not what he's talking about. And if that is going to be broken up, if that in fact happens, I keep telling these folks when they make these announcements that they have to give clarity to specific, specificity on what they're talking about, particularly the places like Newark and East Orange and Irvington and all of us where we are, because our young people take that to mean that they can now play basketball, and that is not what is being said. You cannot have a basketball game, a soccer game, a baseball game, a dice game in the city. You can't do it. They should never have said that without putting guidelines on that. Newark is not saying that you can gather in numbers of 25. No. So you heard it from me. That's not what we're talking about. I want to give these young people a chance to chime in here and try to get to some of you guys' questions while we at it. First, I'm going to allow Shakira McKnight an opportunity to just talk a little bit. Give us a brief overview of what you think, what you're thinking in your head about what's going on and what you guys are doing in Youth and College Office. Shakira.
Right. So I'd like to thank you, Mayor, for having us young people on this live today, because this discussion is very imperative. And it shows that our voices matter. And that shows the importance of local government, right? Like, and how that matters to access to information. But most importantly, the Office of Youth and College Affairs wants to make sure, myself and my team, that we keep youth informed about the different things that they can have access to during this time, right? They are getting the wrong information through avenues of social media, right? And we want them to use social media in the right way during this time. And first and foremost, we like to thank the youth that have been participating with us in volunteering as we fed over 8,000 families actually at JFK, doing food distribution weekly, which is every Wednesday. So shout out to those young people, those college students and high school students who came out. In addition to that, right, I need my youth to understand that this is real, right? This is real. And it affects us in our urban community, right? And us as young people, we are the vessel to the next generation. So it's up to us, right, to make sure that we hold each other accountable. Right? And we're being considerate of those in our families, right? Because we have grandparents who are raising us. Not all of us are being raised by our parents, right? So we want to be considerate of that. We are also giving out masks weekly, right? So we met up, myself, Dorian, and Hassani yesterday. We were at Belmont Runyon School, right? And we were making sure that the community got masks. We had some young people come out there to get masks also. If you don't have a government ID, it's okay, your school ID works too, right? And if that doesn't work, then we're gonna make sure you get a mask. But we wanna make sure that everybody is practicing social distancing. And like the mayor said, that 25 does not pertain to us, right? So we wanna make sure that we are listening to our local leaders and the things that they're sharing with us. There are many resources out there for you, right? So we have a team who's called our Educational Task Force team, right? And this team goes out weekly. They've been going out weekly, and this is a combination of organizations between our clergy, the Newark Community Street Team, and the West Ward Victims Outreach. They've been going out and engaging with the youth and making sure that the youth are informed and educated about what's going on, right? The right information, not the information from just like avenues of the shade room that we listen to all day. In addition to that, they've been going out in the South and in the West Ward, and that's on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays and Sundays from 3 to 6 p.m. And they've been going to these hot spots that the community has been reaching out to the mayor about and telling the mayor, like, hey, you know, I see people standing outside. I see people standing over here. So they're making sure they reach those avenues and they're communicating with those people. I would like all of my college students, right, or my students who are seniors who are getting ready to go to college to know that ALI provides resources for you in this time, right? College readiness, in addition to tutoring, right? Because we are doing this remote learning and we're having problems with that. And it's virtual. So if you need information on that, you can reach out to Ms. Jennifer Maid at ALI. And her email is jennifer.ali@rutgers.edu. Our Newark One Stop Career Center has not stopped doing their work for the youth, so we'd like to give a shout out to Ms. Marsha Armstrong, who told us to reach out to her if we have any questions. You can email or call her in regards to your summer youth employment application. And her email address is armstrongm@ci.newark.nj.us. And her phone number is 973-634-4577, and that's Director Marsha Armstrong. In addition to that, we like to make sure that you continue to stay safe. And my team and the Youth and College Affairs team would just like to make sure that you are also practicing social distancing.
Excellent, Shakira. I want to let Dorian chime in here. There's a couple of questions up here for you too, so have at it.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for having us here on today. A lot of folks talk about it, but Mayor Baraka, you are about it. And so it feels like an honor to be here with my other fellow young leaders to talk about these critical issues. So hi, everybody. My name is Adora Marie Thomas, a lifelong Norker, founder and CEO of She Wins, Inc., which is a mentorship and leadership action organization for girls here in Newark, and an elected school board member here in our great city of Newark. So again, honored to be here and talk with you all about not only COVID-19, but how can we make sure we are centering the voices, stories, and needs of young people during this pandemic. So I'm reminded of an old proverb, and I've heard you say this in a number of speeches and remarks before, which is the question of, and how are the children, right? And if we're being really honest with ourselves right now, we know that everyone is suffering during the pandemic, but the children are especially. And the reality is that the children are not all well. And so there's a few things that I've been doing, there's a few things that are happening in the community that I would like to share about to make sure that we can actually make sure that more of our young people are well. One of the things that we've been doing at my organization, She Wins, is really just trying to hear from young people, right? Really asking them, what is going on? How do you feel about it? And what do you think can change? And there's a few things that keep coming up, right? That young people are talking about. They miss their friends. They miss sports. They miss being able to be a regular young person out there in the community. And frankly, they're bored, right? Having to be home, having to adjust to this major transition of at-home learning. How do I get used to doing everything I'm used to doing as a regular young person now from the confines of my home? And so what I'm excited to both talk about and actually spread the word more about today are some of the resources that are offered both virtually and in person that actually mitigate some of those challenges that young people are having. So just to start a little bit, I'm thinking a lot about the mental and emotional health, right? We know that over the past several years, dealing with social media, just the feelings of anxiety, always having to be on, have put a lot of pressure on our young people, more pressure than already exists. And so there's a number of things that are currently out there that can help our young people deal with some of those challenges they're having emotionally and mentally. So one thing that immediately comes to mind, there are a few different resources here in Newark. One resource that I have personally referred a lot of families to is an organization called Imagine. So Imagine, they have two buckets of work right now. One, they work with families who are grieving. So either a young person or a parent who is grieving the loss of someone, you could go to their website or their social media and Imagine Newark, and they'll help both with grief counseling as well as just overall ways to make sure you're poured into during this time. They also are offering a hotline for essential workers who just want someone to talk to and to vent with one another. And so that's a resource that's out there. Secondly, There's a number of college and career readiness resources that are both out there right now virtually and that are being prepared for the summer. And so my sister Shakira already talked about ALI and on the incredible work that they're doing. Rutgers also just announced another program. Shout out to Kalina, because Kalina actually sent this to me. That's coming out this summer, and it's an all virtual 6-week program that's teaching young people everything from poetry to film to media, all online, all over this summer. And so we're looking forward to that. And then, of course, there's a few other resources that I'll share later. One that comes to mind for me, from my background, is working with young people who had disconnected from school, right? So young people who either had dropped out of high school, were at risk of dropping out, or were out of school already. And so there's an organization called the Newark Opportunity Youth Network that is still offering resources and tools for those young people, should that be your case, if you're looking and trying to get back into school. So we know about Newark Street Academy, we know about these organizations. Newark Opportunity Youth Network is also one of them. So anyone between the ages of 16 through 24 looking to get back into your education or to find career readiness based programs, that's an organization to go to. Lastly, I'll just close with a few questions that I've been thinking about and that I really look forward to us unpacking a little bit more here, and then also really trying to find the answers to. During this COVID-19, one, how do we do a better job of getting the information about the resources that are available out to the community, right? We know that the resources are here, but the question is, how do we make sure we get them out more? And so I'm looking forward to that discussion. Two, the question of what resources are actually available. There are so many people who just don't know that these resources exist. And so what can we continue to do to not only generate more resources, but also get the word out? And then lastly, how do we use moments like this as young people to build power, right? We know that power concedes nothing without demand, and that the most powerful thing that we have as young people and that our young people have at their disposal is their voice. And so how do we use this moment to organize, to exchange ideas, to coalition build? My sister Amanda from the GEM Project, her and her young people, every Friday at 1 o'clock, there's a national call for a national organizing network for just young people, right? And so these things are happening, and how do we use this moment to build power in the midst of despair? And so I'm looking forward to the conversation. I'm looking forward to the questions and being a resource for everyone.
That was excellent, Dorian. Thank you. Want to move on to our newest council member, Hassani Council, our newest school board member, Hassani Council.
So thank you, Mayor, for this opportunity and inviting us on. You're doing an outstanding job out here in this community, making sure that our residents are safe. We have a moral obligation to our elders in our community, right? We as young folks have that obligation to make sure that they're protected. And we can't be selfish and going out and coming back to them and getting them sick. Again, I'm an aide to Councilman James. We've been doing a lot of work. I've been out passing out a lot of food deliveries, going out volunteering in the community. My fraternity, we're still putting out calls. We have our Project Alpha program, which we usually hold at South 17th Street School. We're doing that virtual now, right? So we're still reaching out, mentoring the kids at that school to make sure they're all right. Trauma is a huge thing that we're dealing with. And just beside COVID, we still have other trauma that's going on with our kids in our community as well, because they're losing their parents, they're losing their grandparents, are losing a whole lot. And we have that obligation to make sure that they're taken care of. And that's what we're doing as a fraternity. We're still mentoring. Tariq White at Leaders for Life, he's doing an outstanding job, still mentoring, making sure our students are receiving their graduate degrees for high school, still being able to feed them. So I think we have that obligation as young people, right? We can't be selfish. We want to say, we need our hair cut. We need to go get new clothes. We don't need that right now, right? I want to get my hair cut so bad, right? But I can't do that because life is more important to me than getting my hair cut. Making sure that when I come back home from feeding people, that I'm not infecting the people that live in my house. Make sure I'm not infecting my grandmother or anybody else. So we have that obligation of young people. We can't be going out and texting people on the side or getting in group chat saying, hey, let's meet up at this park 25. Let's do this. Let's do that. Nah, we don't. Right now, we need to listen to what the mayor is saying. We need to listen to all the executive orders that's been put in place to make sure that we come out of this, because we probably could have been out of this already if we would have just stayed home from the beginning when the mayor said stay home, right? So we need to stay home so we can get out of this.
Thank you. Excellent. Josiah will round us out here before we get to the questions. Go ahead, Josiah.
Yes, sir. My name is Josiah Paul. I am the VP of Next Generation Project, a mentoring program. Some of the things that my mentoring program has been doing is still mentoring, still talking to our youth. I think the biggest thing is youth engagement. We did, of course, with the upperclassmen, a lot of them, the ones that are uncertain with their career choice, have a bad start because, you know, we had the cancellation of EOF programs. So we have to really, I think it's the biggest thing for us as the older ones is talking to our young people, making sure they know what career choice they have to go, they want to do. As well with the underclassmen, some of the students that I mentored and talking to, they were already struggling in high school. So now, of course, we may get them be able to bump up to the next grade, but they're in the next grade at a disadvantage. So like Dorian and Sister Shakira talked about ALI, which is a mentoring tutoring program. I think that's a big thing in making sure that our young people are still learning. Because if we talk about from January up until, let's say September of not knowing nothing, I've been out of school, is going to be a real disadvantage. And the last thing I want to stretch was we have some young people that are in dysfunctional homes. Parents have to be parents at this time. You know, I have one of my students are in one house for 3 days, in another house for 3 days. You know, he doesn't have a set home at now. So I had to buy him groceries and even, and of course I know that the city is doing the weekly food drive every week. So we're dealing with a lot of dysfunction at homes. So I believe parents have to be parents because this is a tough thing for us all.
It absolutely is. I want to talk, Shakira, just talk about the diversity of folks that are a part of the mayor's youth council, because you always have Simon the Sorcerer. I've been talking about Simon the Sorcerer all day. You know, there's a scripture that talks about Simon the Sorcerer. You know, somebody who when good things are about to happen or somebody is about to get blessed, there's always something or someone who's there, their job, that's their job, so I don't get angry at them, is their job to create mischief and havoc and doubt and cynicism and division. So I just want you to talk a little bit about what the youth council looks like for these folks.
So we are a diverse group, right? And we are in each ward. We have representatives from the North, South, East, West, and Central Ward from all parts of the world, right? We have people who speak French, young people who, so if you go on our social media, which is the North Youth and College Affairs Office, you'll see a video where we have students speaking different languages from French, Creole, English, of course. They're speaking Spanish, and they're from all parts of the world, but it shows that, you know, we are the next generation. We are ready, and we can speak, and we are the voices, and we are diverse in different ways, right? So like Miss Jennifer Fana, who is a representative in the office, and Baba Abraham, who is a representative who's from Burkina Faso, and how many other people can I name, right? Because on Fridays, that office was packed when we weren't practicing social distancing. So it's a little bit of a challenge for us, but we make sure we stay connected as a team weekly through Zooms, right, like this one, and conversations to make sure we're okay as a team. And if you'd like to be a part of that Zoom call, it's not a secluded team. We invite all young people to be a part of it. Reach out to me, right? Reach out to Dorian, Hassani, or Josiah, right? We want you to come and ask us questions and, you know, get the resources that we have, because that's why we're here, to share those resources. And if you don't speak our language, we have someone that speaks your language.
Right. From all over the city. I know you guys elected a new president and vice president, right? Who is that?
Miss Daniela, yes, she goes to Science Park High School. So shout out to Daniela, who has been doing amazing things. She actually was a contestant in the One Stop Don't Rush contest. So she did very well. You can go check out her video on their page also.
And who's the vice president?
Our VP is Miss Ayana, who is going to Delaware State University this year, and she goes to Central High School. And our other VP is Mr. Esau Perkins, who goes to Central High School.
Right. Excellent. So I have a couple of questions up here. I'm gonna get right into them, y'all. It says, and I think some of you guys on the board have to deal with some of this. Although our kids are being homeschooled, how can we be sure they're getting appropriate education they're not professors or professional teachers. I'm gonna chime in too, but if y'all want to jump in there, go ahead.
So our teachers, right, have an obligation to be online and make sure that our students are receiving equitable education. The curriculum is not different, right? It's not a different thing that they're going. This is the same work that they will be getting in class. They're just doing it virtual now. So the work that they will be doing in class, they're just home on the computer. The teacher is available for them to answer any questions, to go through any assignments that they need help with. And we still have individuals in the schools working, the guidance counselors, principals, aides. Everyone is still working and is available for the students that may need help.
Yeah, I'll jump in, Mayor. I appreciate you sharing that, Mr. Council. And we're going to be completely honest here, right? Because we talking from the hip from these sessions. And the reality is that, and I know this because I work with young people who go to the schools, while a number of our young people are getting the instruction that they need at the quality they deserve virtually, a number of them are not. And that's just being completely honest. And so what we have to do is make sure that two things happen. One, our young people speak up for themselves, right? I cannot tell you there isn't a day that goes by my DMs or my personal inbox on my phone isn't filled with a young person saying, hey, Mr. Dorian, my what's the name teacher didn't check in with me. Or saying, hey, Mr. Dorian, my what's the name teacher did check in with me. Look, this is good, right? So our young people have a voice. They speak up for themselves. They will let us know what's happening, and they'll let us know what isn't happening and if it should be. And so we have to be able to, one, listen to our young people because they're going to let us know if they're learning and if they aren't. Second, our parents are our biggest advocates. So for my parents out there, you are your young person's biggest champion. And so if it does seem that it's either information that you're not getting, that you're requesting, if there's resources that you are asking for that isn't coming to you, if there are things to your point that you shared, May, like, I'm not a professor, I didn't major in this, what am I supposed to share? Then please use your voice to get those questions answered and to seek that information. And so as a school board and as a district, we have a responsibility to make sure that your child has everything they need to win. Period. And that doesn't stop with the teachers. It also ends with the parents as well. And so if there is more information and resources you need on how to be a better at-home instructor for your young person, please let your principals know, your teachers know from your school. And if that doesn't work, reach out to the board. The direct number that you can call for the North Public Schools is 973-733-7333. They answer and they call back. Again, that number is 973-733-7333. Right? And so if you are consistently having issues where you're lifting your voice and your voice isn't being heard or acted upon, you go that route. And if that route doesn't work, and even if you want to do it simultaneously, please reach out to me personally or any other board member, because we will do everything we can to make sure your voice is advocated for and heard.
Excellent. So it says, what can we as parents do to make sure our children stay occupied this summer? Anybody could jump in there.
Number one, I think they can stay connected to North Youth One Stop and the virtual classes that they're doing as they're trying to pay students to learn also during the summer. Outside of that, they can make sure that they're connected to mentors like myself, Dorian and Josiah and Hassani, like I said before, just to make sure mentally, they have someone to talk to outside of their parents. But that's my spill.
I will also add that parents have to, come up with some schedules, come up with some routines, some family routines to keep their students active, whether it's a study session or a game night or just something, or even a workout session. They have to do something and be inclusive with their children. They're really looking up to their parents at this time. But if the parents don't show love and concern to their children, then of course they're going to be outside and making all types of havocs.
Well, go ahead, Sonny.
I was going to say there's a plethora of things that our students can be doing this summer. We need to watch out and look for the plan that the mayor is going to put out with his reopening for different phases. But I know for myself, right, there's a lot of stuff online virtually. I'm taking a Harvard online course at the moment because it was offered for free. So there's a lot of free stuff that can be done out there for our kids to take part in this summer.
So there's as Asani said, there's going to be we haven't given up on having events. We're going to have socially distanced events that are organized by the city in housing complex on people's specific blocks. different things that we're going to do, even a point where we're going to give you instruction on what's going to happen around summer camp at Watershed and things of that nature. So those things are going to happen. We just have to do it in a very careful and socially distanced way, and we'll roll that out when the time comes. Timing is important. Everybody want to do everything when they're ready. We can only do things when the time permits, right? Timing is everything, and it's important that we seize the right time. You can have the right you can have the right idea, but if your idea is not at the right time, then it'll never blossom. So we need to make sure we do everything at the right time. And it says another question. I haven't heard of many cases, as for me, of coronavirus where kids have contracted it. Does this mean kids are immune to the virus? No, it does not. There are cases in Newark where kids actually do have the coronavirus. There are a small number of kids that have in fact been hospitalized because of the coronavirus. By the grace of God, we have not had any deaths of young people around coronavirus. And I mean, when I say kids, I'm talking elementary age and younger. New Jersey, youngest person that died of coronavirus was 4 years old. 4 years old was the youngest person who died from coronavirus in the state. So young people are not immune to it, and they can catch it. And as Josiah pointed out, or Hassani pointed out, one of y'all pointed out earlier, that you can become a carrier of it and bring it home to the folks in your home. So it is important that kids understand this, that they are also tested as well. So it's necessary for young people to pay attention to what's going on. It says, this one is for me too. Is it okay to have small gatherings to celebrate our child's graduation? I would rather you stand on the porch or in front of your house and have people do a drive-by, drive by the house, blow the horn, get out, wave, do whatever, keep going, next car, next car, next car. I think that's the best way to have a celebration. You can put some balloons out there, bake a cake, do the whole 9 yards. I think the safest way to do that is to have drive up and keep moving forward. These people are talking about, and you have to understand, when the governor and the state make these kind of proclamations, they're making it for the entire state, and the infrastructure of our community is completely different. So when they say that it's safe for 10 people or 25 people, they're talking about areas that are not as densely populated as our city. We do not have a lot of space, right? So we don't have giant front yards and giant backyards and all of this additional space. It makes it difficult for us to do the things that other folks are doing and maintain our safety. It's just difficult for us to do. And you need to keep that in mind when you're making decisions about what's good for your family in this. It's, they're giving them all towards me, y'all. It says, are some of you jobs and opportunities available? I think that Shakira answered that. You want to add on to it again,
Yes.
Shakira?
Yes, they are available. And if you have any questions or concerns, the phone number again to reach out to the director, Marsha Armstrong, is armstrongm@ci.newark.nj.us. And her phone number is 973-634-4577. So she can answer every question you have as far as your child's process, where their application is. And we want to encourage you to continue to send in those documents so that they can make sure they complete the process properly.
Excellent, excellent. And this is a question about the young man. Somebody said their child has to take the test, drive the test for the DMV. I would suggest that you go to www.njmvc.gov, www.njmvc.gov to get information about road tests, inspections, all of those other specific things for your young person. Because the DMVs are closed and that's a state function. So I would go there and they have instruction for you, www.njmvc.gov.
Mayor.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to jump in on something that came up a little earlier about both the summer and then graduation. So last week, I want to say it was Saturday, we all know that was one of the warmest days we had in a while. And I don't know about you guys, but I saw everybody and their mom outside. I actually saw some of my young people. And of course I had to pull up on them and be like, first of all, what are you doing out here? But the thing that bothered me the most, right, is that there were such large groups of young people. Some of them had on masks. And so my challenge for my young people out there who know the information, who know how much is at risk when you're walking outside and you're not wearing your mask, and you're around other people who aren't, right? Like, and you got to know, you got to go back home to your mother or your grandmother or your grandparents to please continue to speak up and use your voice. So often we talk about young people as the problem, right? But we know that young people are the solution. And as much as they'll listen to us up here on this chat, but our voices can go but so far. It's so much more powerful when those words come from you. So for any young people out here who are listening, for any parents out here who have young people, please just continue to remind your young person how important their voice is and how important it is that they lead by example, because we need you, and you really are the solution for us tackling this. The second thing I want to just share really quickly, and some folks may already know, just about graduation, right? So we know that our superintendent, our mayor, our entire city has been working really hard at making sure that graduation is as beautiful and impactful as it can be on the 18th. The mayor, obviously, there's going to be more information coming out on that, but just know that, like, when I tell you your schools, your district, your city is working so hard to make sure that you have the most impactful, beautiful graduation out there. Like, it is there. People are working so hard to make it happen. So please trust that it is coming and it's going to be grand. It's going to be as reflective of your brilliance as you can imagine. And on June 15th, the district will be making more announcements specifically just for seniors and parents of seniors, just to get prepared for.
That's great. And it is a question for me. Says, how many positive cases do we have in our young people, like teens and kids? So let me go over that. I don't usually go over that on the Facebook Live, but I will today because the question is asking. We have young people up here. Under the age of 10 years old, we have 71 positive cases of kids under the age of 10 in the city of Newark who are positive for COVID-19. From ages 10 to 19, we have 140 positive cases of kids from ages 10 to 19. So young people are getting COVID-19, as you can see. And those kids that are under 10 years old are obviously a lot more susceptible. Their immune system is not as developed as older kids are, which puts them in greater jeopardy. So it's important when you're out there and you have your kids around people and you just want them out the house for a second to be mindful that they can in fact catch this virus like everybody else can. They definitely can catch it as well. Is there anything that any of you guys are doing that would allow young people to come volunteer for?
So weekly, we are, like we said before, distributing food at JFK Recreation Center, and we fed 8,000 families so far. So we need help packaging the food. If you would like to come and volunteer with the Mayor's Office of Youth and College Affairs. Hassani, I seen you pop up last week. Josiah popped up a week before also. So we can use your hands and also make sure we're practicing social distancing within that. And if you don't have a mask, we will provide a mask for you when you come. You can reach out to me at the mayor's office if you would like to get more information on how to volunteer. And don't forget that at the schools in each ward, there are giving out masks weekly also. So we are helping with that as well. If you have any young people that would like to volunteer, reach out to me also. My phone number is 201-507-9065. And you can reach out to me on that line at any time during the day.
The only point I would just like to add, I think is as a college student, I think this is really, I know this is a tough moment for us as college students who are, especially those who are graduating and ready to jump into this world and everything. Shout out to Rutgers and how they were able to give the CARES Act, the $500. I think that even helped out a long run. There's some of us who had college jobs on campus and of course no longer able to do that. So they're suffering with not being able to have access to work. So I think it's like I said, it's a tough time for us all. And we have to really be mindful of what type of disadvantages that we are all facing. But like I was able to help out one of my students who was able to get an Amazon job. So those that are seeking jobs and everything, college students, I don't know if the city of Newark has something for college students, if you could speak on that, Shakira, but we definitely need to make sure that they're also included and protected at this time too.
Right. So I'm sorry. The college students are also able to apply for some youth employment, and they have been applying for that. And they have internship information that they are actually giving them in addition to the high school students. So college students have been applying for some youth employment and resources also. And they can reach out to Marsha Armstrong for that information.
Okay, that's good.
That's great.
Just to-
Anybody else want to add
Yeah.
to that? No?
Yeah, sure. So just a few things, both in terms of potential resources and volunteering opportunities. So for my organization, She Wins, we're about to start a series of online lives, webinars, all about college, career, and community readiness, as well as on social and emotional learning. So if there are any women, if there are any young people, either in high school, college, out of school, who are interested in just being a mentor, sharing a word of encouragement, having a skill or resource or opportunity they would like to share, our organization will be hosting these webinars and online resources for students, not just in She Wins, but for across the board for young people. And so I could be happy to get the information about that if you would like to volunteer on that way virtually. Another thing that I like to do, and Shakira, Josiah, y'all all know this, our young people in She Wins really pride themselves on service, right? Our slogan is, she needed a hero, so she became her own. So our girls are out here trying to give back to everywhere. And so we literally, our young people will be partnering with the city of Newark, we'll be partnering with all these other organizations, Bethany Baptist Food Pantry, all these other spaces who are already having organized volunteer efforts, and we'll just be plugging our young people into them. And so on my social media, and obviously the city social media, the Office of Youth and College Affairs, we constantly post about resources for young people to get engaged. And so please, like, go follow our Facebook, our social medias, because folks are always putting the word out there about how to give back. You know, some of our young people will be volunteering next week. As She Wins, we've already been giving out Chromebooks, we've been giving out food packages, but the opportunities are definitely out there. One last resource too, She Wins, we're going to start opening up our virtual Girl Talk. So every other Friday we do an online Girl Talk just for girls to have a safe space to come in and check in with each other and also get some peer mentoring. And so if you are a young woman, or if you know a young woman who would like to be a part of that, go to our website, shewins.org, or follow us on social media, and we'll be posting about that as well.
Great. We got to start wrapping up. You all to give a way for people to contact you if they want to volunteer, get their kids involved in what you're doing. Let them know. And the Mayor's Youth and College Office has representation from every single area. And you know what? I don't want to say area. I want to say every single nationality, because people view our city in wards. So they don't know where any of you live at. They don't know that there are people from all nationalities that live in every ward. I know Black people that live in the North Ward. I know Puerto Ricans that live in the South Ward. I know Portuguese that live in the West Ward. You know, we're all over the city, and to divide the city like that is absurd. But I want you to tell people how to contact you and how to get involved in that. If you have kids going off to college, you should check with the university and see if they're doing virtual classes, if the university is open or not yet. And if your child has to travel and you're afraid for them to travel, I get it. And you need to have a conversation with them of how to protect themselves in traveling if they must travel, how to clean the surfaces, wearing masks, how to wear gloves, take the gloves off, put on new ones, all of those specific things. You have to have a real sit-down conversation with your child about being on their own and traveling safely to school. So each one of y'all, we're going to start with Shakira, then Josiah, Hassani, then Adorian. Tell us how to contact you and any last thing you want to say.
So you can contact the Mayor's Office of Youth and College Affairs. You can reach out to me on social media at shakira.mcknight, or you can reach out to our social media, which is North Youth and College Affairs. You can also be a part of our weekly calls that we do just to check in with each other. And outside of that, I would just like to remind you that we are weekly volunteering, again, at the local schools in each ward to make sure that we are giving masks to our young people in the community. We're doing food distribution, so please come in and help us with that if you have need be. But make sure that you reach out to me for any resources that you may need in regards to the youth, because I have the information. And one last thing, something came in for NERC Works is also doing weekly job openings, and they're doing virtual interviews. So you can reach out to the NERC Works department to get information on jobs also as college students. So we have the information. Information is power, and access to it is power also. So reach out to us if you need be in the NERC Youth and College Affairs office on behalf of the mayor.
To contact me, you can just easily go on my Instagram, official Josiah, or go on our official Next Generation Project NJ.org. The last thing that I was going to say is that North College Institute is also a resource for job placement. And when it comes to tutoring for the older kids, the high school, and even the college students, please, let's not forget about the middle school and elementary school students. You know, this is a hard time for the upper kid, the high school students, but we cannot forget about middle school, the lower class, the babies and everything. We can't forget about them at all. Thank you.
So you can reach out to me. My Facebook is Hassani K Council, or you can email me at councilh@ci.norc.nj.us. Parents, we need you guys more engaged at this time. Also, parents, if your child was in danger of failing, they should have received notices today from the district or from their teachers about them failing. So please look into your emails to check on that. Also, the district has put together a opening strategy that we have a task force that's working to plan and wait for the guidance from the governor and the Commission of Education. So look out for that. Tune into the board meeting next week as well.
First of all, thank you again, Mayor, for having all of us here. Again, it's just such an honor to be with such a distinguished panel. So again, my name is Adorian Murray Thomas. I'm a millennial, y'all, so I'm on all the social media platforms like everybody here on this call. So on all of the social medias, I am Adorian for Newark. Also, if you would like to contact me via cell, my number is 862-259-2946. Also, yo hablo español para mis familias que son habladoras de español. So puedes contactarme en inglés o español si tú prefieres. And I just want to say congratulations to all of our graduates. I know we talked about it a lot, but for the class of 2020, like my seniors, my 8th graders, my kindergartners, my 5th graders, all of you guys, we're so proud of you. We're rooting for you. And listen, we're going to make this one is going to be for the books. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And again, honored to be here. Feel free to contact me with any questions, ideas, please too. If you have ideas or suggestions, I'm all ears open.
That was dynamite, y'all. I love y'all.
Celebration.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Mayor.
And
Thank you,
I love that Spanish, Dorian. That was on the money. Thank you. Y'all take care and be safe.
It was a little choppy. It was a little choppy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, she got the little Spanish dictionary on the side.
it's all up here, bro. All up here. Thank you guys. Love y'all. Be safe.
All right, you too.